暗黒のしもべたちよ、神罰を受けなさい。行きましょう、勇敢な冒険者よ。この世界を守るための長く苦しい旅路を私と共に歩んでいただけませんか。
Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I'm going to do an update of my plans for the upcoming few months, if you will, because there's been some massive changes to my original planning due to what has occurred this month of January. So, as always though, first of all, I should talk about my equipment results for this past week. So it was from the 25th to the 31st. The week before, I only got 7 SSRs from Dragons, Joint Battles, and the World Map, with an additional 7 from the event and from things like random accessory boxes and so on. This week, I got an insane 22 SSRs. Absolutely insane. 22, I don't even know how that happened. I also got 8 SSRs off the equipment banner, so in total I actually got 30 SSRs this week. It's insane the sheer number that I got. Okay. The SSRs included a Divine Boots from Timeless Trials. From Gambling, I got my Carbon Fiber Helmet, a 4th one, to level up my Carbon Fiber Helmet. Sorry, my 3rd one, so that's the level 40. And then the weapon gambles and other weapon and helmet gambles were garbage, so it returned 500 ore. From Dragons, Joint Battles, and World Map, well, on Monday I got 3 SSRs. And another carbon fiber helmet, so that created a level 50 carbon fiber helmet for me once more. On Tuesday, I got 4 SSRs, so that's 7 now. All 4 were useless, all of them were ored. On Wednesday, I also got 3, so that's up to 10 SSRs already. On Thursday, I got 2 more from 3 dragon runs, so that's up to 12. On Friday, I got an insane 6 in one day. 6 SSRs in one day. Right, so that's 18 SSRs now. Of those 6, I actually did keep the Charon. It's just sitting in my bag for now, but everything else was ored, so that was 500 ore. And then yesterday, I got 3 more SSRs, so that's 21 SSRs. Right. Of those 21 though, I only kept 1. Go figure, right? And then equipment banner, I mean, everyone saw me summon 170 times on the equipment banner and not get what I wanted. Today, I actually did 1 final summon, and I actually got a crystal stinger out of it. So at the end of the day, it took me 180 summons to get 1 crystal stinger. 180 draws, 8 SSRs, 1 of them was a crystal stinger. So this, I mean, I'm still not happy with that kind of rate, but at least I got the crystal stinger. You know, it's better than not getting 1 at all. So that one certainly helped. But Dragon Runs today didn't give me anything. Time Traveling Merchant had no SSRs, or it actually could have bought an SSR helmet, but I have to save up crystals now. And then I did 3 random accessory box purchases and didn't get anything out of those either. So 22 SSRs plus 8 was this week. Last week though, I had 13 vouchers and 16,645 crystals. I am currently down to 0 vouchers and 6,054 crystals. So that's because I did 180 summons on the equipment banner. So the total increase was basically 20 vouchers and 2,345 crystals, which is more or less the norm. Yeah. Mostly what you expect. A little bit higher than the average because I've started clearing out my remaining Gates of Fate though. Okay, so with regards to recent banner results though, overall, it's truly terrible. Right? From December, the Albedo and Shaltir banner, 90 summons didn't get me an SSR, so I was at pity rate. On Rosenseal, I did 270 summons. That gave me 4 SSRs, which is 2 Clotaires, 1 Bozel, and 1 Rosenseal. I also did another 50 Rosenseal and Clotaire summons later. I forgot to record that one. And it didn't give me any SSR either. And then I also did 40 summons on Rosalia and Elwin to see if I could get a copy of Rosalia potentially. Before I smartened up and I'm like, I'm at pity rate, let's not draw anymore. I'm just going to draw a bit on this banner and see what happens. and nothing good. I was at 60, 70, this is 80. You know what, let's do one last one, putting me at 90. I'm actually going to hit pity rate again. I'll quit here. Jeez, this is insane. But, yep, let's abandon this. But regardless, the end result is that I'm at pity rate once again. So I'm currently at 450 summons with 4 SSRs, which is actually below a 1% SSR rate. I'm going to be going above 1%, barely, when I get my next 10 summon, because then I'll have 5 SSRs on 460 summons. But what can you do, right? It is what it is. For the equipment banner, the 180 summons gave me 8 SSRs. That's a 4.44% SSR rate. Now, the rate is predicted to be around 4 to 5%. So this is roughly the average SSR rate. You hear of outliers all the time, you know, getting 2 SSRs in 140 summons or whatever, but supposedly the average is 4 to 5%. But the variance is incredibly wide. Of those 8, I got 2 off banners. I got a Devil's Axe and a Broken Star, if I recall correctly. So that's a 25% off banner rate. So, but despite the terrible rates recently, I will say that all things considered, it's actually not as bad as it seems, because overall, since the start of the game, I got 110 SSRs in 5,444 summons. That's a 2.02% SSR rate. So it's just barely above the 2% rate, but it's still above it. It used to be higher. I think I was at like 2.2% at one point, but it's been dropping because of the recent terrible summons. Alright, so let's talk briefly about my shard farming plans for February. So right now, this month is going to be Mariel and Lollygess that are going to be on the major update, which is actually next Thursday. Right? So this coming Thursday is the 4th, and next Thursday is the 11th. And that will have the major update banner. And looking forward to that, but at the same time, I'm very scared because I actually want to get both heroes of the banner if possible, and I don't know if it's actually going to happen. So fingers crossed on that. We'll see how it goes. Okay. If I get both though on Thursday, assuming I do, I'm going to start farming both of them up as soon as I get them. So if I get Mariel and not Lollygess, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I get Lollygess and not Mariel, then I'm just going to farm up Lollygess for sure. But we'll wait and see. So some of my plans may get adjusted based on what happens, what I get on that major update banner. But in terms of some good news, I mean, I'll have Sigma completed on that Thursday. So that will knock off another character. I mean, it'll leave me ready for using SP Sigma when SP Sigma comes, which is I think in March. Right. Other than Sigma though, I will be basically continuing to farm up Florentia, Rosenseal, maybe, and probably one of the heroes on the upcoming major update banner. So we'll see. One thing about Rosenseal is if I stop farming her next week, next Thursday, I'll have her at 46 out of 100 shards. So she'll be at 4 stars with 46 out of 100 shards. So my current thought process may be that I use my extra Gates of Fate on farming her up, getting her up to 5 stars and maybe 6 stars. So that's why I've been steadily saving up those items that I get from the time traveling merchant, because I currently have I think like 28 or 31 of them, which puts me pretty close to finishing up Rosenseal, or raising Rosenseal up to 5 stars anyways. So we'll see how that one goes. Just slowly building up my stock of those so that I can farm up potentially 4 heroes at a time rather than just 3. So in terms of the banners of February, this week is going to be Rachel, Lana, and Tieres. Another great banner for people who are lacking any of those heroes. Next week is going to be the major update Mariel and Lollygess. The week after that, we'll have Maya, Ares, and Noemi. All 3 are good heroes. So another good banner. at least all three are good heroes if you plan to play the reincarnation faction. That's what I should say. But Ares and Noemi and yeah, they're all decent. They're all quite good heroes though, overall, at least for PvP purposes. After that week though is going to be Sakura and Sumeri, a rerun of the Sakura Wars banner. We also get a rerun of the Sakura Wars event, so you can get Iris shards from that. So anyone who has their Iris at 5 stars will now get an opportunity to raise her to 6 stars. And if anyone who doesn't have Iris can get the opportunity to raise her up to 5 stars just from the banner shards. So looking forward to that. I mean, I don't use my Iris right now in my Apex box, but you know, we do see her show up every now and then in Apex boxes. And the final banner of the month of February, which actually goes into March. It's actually the first banner of March, as a side note. But that banner will be Landius, Yulia, and Juggler. Okay. So we'll see how these go. Now, let's talk about all the upcoming major update banners and why having done so many draws this month may be a major issue for me. I think in total I spent, if I just go back and take a look, okay, what I did here was 450 draws plus 180 draws. I did 630 summons this month. 630! Okay? So those were my savings, in fact, for the banners in February and March. And that's because February has Miro and Lolijess, both really, really good characters that are part of both Legion and Glory, as well as Reincarnation. And then March has Werner and Hilda. All right. Werner, one thing to be aware of for both banners. Okay. Lolijess buffs up Mariel. So in order to unlock Mariel's Gates bonds, you need Lolijess. But you don't need Mariel to unlock Lolijess's bonds. Lolijess's bonds are unlocked by the other 2 Jessicas. Okay. But it just shows, you know, how important it is, how critical it may be to get both heroes if you want to use them for the February banner. Okay. In addition, on the February, it should be mentioned as well, for the February banner, the heroes do show up again in July. Okay. So Mariel reappears on a banner with Mariel and Brenda, which sucks because almost nobody has Brenda built. So if you end up getting Mariel on the Mariel and Lolijess banner, it's not exactly a terrible thing, because then you won't have to try to get her again on the Mariel and Brenda banner. And as for Lolijess, Lolijess shows up on the Destiny Summon banner, so she does become a guaranteed hero in July, assuming you have the other 2. And the 3 heroes of that banner is Young Jess, Lolijess, and Akaya. So just something to keep in mind about that one, the banner. In fact, if you end up getting Mariel and not Lolijess, it's not the end of the world, because in July you can make use of Mariel then. Right? So you'll basically be given time to farm Mariel up to 6 stars, and then once she's farmed to 6 stars, you can unlock her bonds with Lolijess. As for the March banner has Werner and Hilda. Okay. I think Werner unlocks Hilda's bonds. Hilda does not unlock Werner's bonds, but I'm pretty sure Werner unlocks Hilda's bonds. Werner is also popular because Werner is a character that can help increase allied characters' mobility. So one way people have been describing him is as an SR version of Leticia. Given how in Apex Arena mobility is so key, Werner can be a great addition to people's boxes. In addition, apparently Werner has the ability to potentially ignore guard attack. So it's like potential to be an assassin attacker and mobility buff allies, which is a great combination in a hero. Next, then, we'll move on to April. So for April, we get another collaboration banner. This one is for a very popular TV show back in the 90s in China, Mashin hero Wataru. Okay. I don't think this anime is very well known internationally speaking, but it was very, very popular in China. So that's why they did the collaboration. For that banner, from what I can tell, Himiko is really, really good. She's a Yeles Legends AoE assassin. Okay. So she can assassinate characters, she can launch AoEs, and she's actually very difficult to attack because I think something like the first attack she takes in melee, like a melee or range attack, a single target strike attack, she will just take no damage and teleport back to her allies. She's just really, really annoying to deal with overall. As for Wataru himself, he's like another single target striker, but given all the single target strikers that already exist, as far as I know, Wataru is not really necessary. Characters like SP Elwin, Claret, there's Rosalia, there's just so many single target strikers as it is. After that banner, we move into the month of May, and in May, we have Kruger and Vincent. Kruger is mythical and dark, while Vincent is Empire and dark. And both are pretty much AoE attackers, so adding to the AoE meta, the AoE debuff meta, whatever. Both are interesting heroes to use, I feel, but I'm personally going to maybe just draw for one, and I don't plan to build the heroes. It'll be drawing for one to continue to keep up with heroes via Destiny summon banners and so on, but I don't plan to seriously level up either one, because keep in mind you can only build basically 3 heroes every 3 months, and I'm too busy building up other heroes right now to use either one. So it's unfortunate. I would have loved to potentially play around with Kruger because I have mythical and dark built up, but it probably won't happen. And actually Vincent I could play around with too because he's part of dark and I use a lot of dark characters. May will also have an equipment banner on May 20th. So the Kruger Vincent banner is on May 6th. 2 weeks after that is the equipment banner. And this equipment banner is one that seems to be adding incremental upgrades to gear. It's kind of like a power creep thing, if you will. Right? For example, the weapon, Windslayer Knight, will basically be the equivalent of getting a weapon that gives you plus 15 attack as opposed to plus 10%. Protector's Armor pretty much combines the advantages of both Aeolus and Bloodline. As long as you're attacked, you have a 30% chance to reduce damage taken. Yes, the damage taken reduction is only 20% as opposed to 30%, but if you have good enchants and so on, that 20% should be enough to keep your character alive. So it's an improvement on the existing Aeolus and Bloodline. Right. Mortal Light is a helmet that potentially replaces Tenyo's headdress for some characters. And the whole point of it is pretty much that it prevents death from fixed damage once per battle. So potentially maybe a counter to, let's say, characters that will die to, I don't know, Ares, for example. Right? If Ares fixed damage will be enough to kill off your character the second life, the Mortal Light protection will keep your character alive, and that can change the match entirely. I know Ares doesn't necessarily kill via fixed damage. Sometimes he kills via the second AoE. So you will have to kind of factor that in, kind of calculate it out. But I can see Mortal Light being potentially quite useful. And the final item, the accessory, Prisoner's Gear, is like a Slayer's Emblem except with bonus damage against cavalry. I actually feel the accessory may be the worst of this bunch. I don't feel like cavalry characters are difficult to kill in general, but maybe I'm wrong. So Prisoner's Gear to me seems like the worst item, but the other 3 all have potential use. And then after that, we'll talk about the last 2 upcoming banners, which is in June and July. For the month of June will be the release of Patsir and Toa. Patsir is the demoness who gets bonuses against male characters. And Toa is like a strategist and reincarnation hero. Can do various things. I mean, if I were to draw on it, I would try to draw for just one of them and hopefully get Patsir. We'll see how it goes though. July has Sissy White and Lord of Crimsonia, so it's a return to the Langrisser mobile storyline heroes, as opposed to previous Langrisser games. And at a brief glance, I'm more interested in Sissy White than Lord of Crimsonia, but I'd love to be able to get both of them. Sissy White is like a character who can provide Act Again to other characters, as well as drop summons, which in her case are mercenary soldiers. Lord of Crimsonia has the ability to revive and drop some AoEs and so on. So both heroes are quite good. Once again, it's very clear that if you want to play an AoE team, you should be playing Empire, Mythical, and or Dark. Those are the factions to play from an AoE team. While playing for Act Again purposes, you probably want to play something like Legion of Glory, because Legion of Glory has Sissy White, Liana, as well as Akaya for potentially acting again characters. So they're kind of splitting off. One is more single target oriented probably, and one is more AoE oriented. I mean, there is also, of course, Wilder for Act Again by a regroup, but that's a very specific scenario-based one. And there's also Florentia, who can provide Act Again purposes. So there are other heroes who can, but the majority of them seems to be in Legion of Glory. In any case, though, I've been mostly skipping the events that are coming up and 3-season exclusives, although I have them written on screen. But the July events should be mentioned, because in July, it's going to be the 2.5 year anniversary then. There's going to be a Lunar New Year event, and there's also going to be purchasable bags once again. So, you know, $20 for a hero of your choice, $20 for a piece of gear of your choice, and they're also actually going to have an Aniki event that gives you a Macho Lotto skin of your choice. So you can actually get a Macho Lotto skin without having to spend 4,000 crystals for one. So those are all those upcoming banners. A lot of interesting ones. The big issue is, as previously mentioned, that the next two banners, February and March, are pretty key banners for PvP players. You're going to ideally want both heroes. But I'm probably not going to get both. I mean, I'm hoping I get both of Mira and Lollyjess, and Werner and Hilda, I'll probably have to just settle for one. We'll see how this all works out in the end. In the longer term, I'm not going to spend too much on the Himiko and Wataru banner, just going to get one of them. May, I'll probably go for one of them. And then June, I'll go for one. July, I'll probably aim for both, but we'll see. Because July, I actually really do want Sissy White. So my plan is spend like crazy February and March, spend minimal April, May, and June, and then probably spend a whole bunch in July. But the plans may very well change, depending on what banners come up after Sissy White and Lord of Crimsonia. Just giving out my personal plans for what's coming up. So now let's jump into the game and talk about some of the things that have occurred with my account. Alright. First of all, I also realized I have a dire need for gold. And what I noticed is I have an insane amount of SR Aniki items. For example, just scrolling down to take a look, there's like 5,000 balance balls, close to 5,000 yoga mats, over 6,000 ab rollers, 3,500 chess machines, 3,000 sandbags, 3,500 barbells, 7,300 holy books. I already broke down the Archer and Assassin books, but you can see there's 6,500 of the flyer books, 3,800 rare cavalry books, 2,800 lancer books, and 1,500 rare infantry books. So I'm going to break all of these down and just see how much gold I get. Not going to break them down on the video because it's going to take, you're going to be watching me break them down for a very long time. But here we go. So now I have sold all the items, reducing all of these ones to around 900-ish, and reducing the books to around 400 to 500. And with all those sales, my gold count has increased to 13 million, just like that. So keeping all those items clearly was not worth it. And I can now use all this gold for enchanting. Enchanting being what it is, I saw all sorts of crazy things while doing the enchants. For example, I saw a steel enchant with around 15% attack. I saw int enchant with 17% int. It was 14% int with plus 17 int. And also plus 9% attack, actually. That would have been like a perfect item for Akaya, for example. But go figure, right? So RNG with the enchants kind of sucks. And it's just, you just hope for the best, right? That you're getting the right enchant at the right time. Some other crazy enchants that I got, because I was doing a lot of enchanting this week, include things like Landius's annoying blood pact, right? This blood pact has basically 12% attack increase. There's 10% attack with another 14 attack. Well, that's not what you want on the blood pact. You want hit points and defense, maybe attack, but attack is optional on something like a blood pact. So I'm going to have to re-roll this enchant for sure, but it's a huge shame because if I got this on any kind of attack accessory, I would be super happy. But instead, I got it on my blood pact. And I was just seeing all sorts of enchants like this over and over again. You know, great enchants just on the wrong gear. But what can you do? That is part of RNG. So the final things to mention would be, I guess, my training ground. Currently, I'm more oriented towards getting materials than upgrading any additional techs in my training ground, because I want to be ready for upgrading the future soldiers. For example, once the soldier for archers and assassins are released, I need to get them both upgraded, because I am definitely going to use Faceless on Sigma, and I'm definitely going to be using the Elwin Wolf Riders on Illustrial. So both of those heroes are actually in my Apex box right now. So, or sorry, well, Sigma isn't, but Sigma will join my Apex box, and Illustrial is in my Apex box right now. So I'm going to have to save up materials to make sure I can get them both upgraded. I do have my Redeemers upgraded to level 10 at this time, so they're ready for use. And in terms of the Flyer and Aquatic training ground, I'm still trying to decide whether to finish up the Steelwind Warriors. And then there's also, I probably have to upgrade the Lancer training ground, because having the ability to use Crystal Molders on Ledin, having the ability to use, let's say, Treon Guards on Landius, having the ability to use soldiers for Freya as well, Lancer soldiers for Freya, like either Heavy Centurions or Phalanx on Freya, would all help me in terms of dealing with any enemy that brings lots of cavalry characters. So something I'm looking into for upgrading purposes. It's just another thing to look into upgrading. Like my Lancer training ground is total garbage right now, right? 48, 46, 56. Compared to my other training grounds that are 70, 70, 70, 70, there's lots of work to be done. But at the same time, there's work to be done for me for my Archer and Assassin training ground as well, right? If I want to improve the survivability of my Archer and Assassin heroes, I might need to upgrade the soldiers of this training ground. So, or upgrade the Assassin training and Archer training so that they do more damage, as the case may be. So lots and lots of things to look into upgrading. I'd rather just gather resources and hold on to them and wait and see for now. So that's what I'm doing right now. And finally, I actually have 7 Aniki vouchers on hand, as well as 5 Demon Dragon vouchers on hand. Just going to use them up later. Right? For example, I plan to use all those Demon Dragon vouchers once this equipment banner is done. So hopefully I can use it on the Dark Dragon and potentially get maybe another Crystal Stinger. Praying for a lot of luck. I mean, 5 Demon Dragon runs probably won't lead to a Crystal Stinger, but you never know. So there's just these various components that are kind of are in play right now. And the challenge overall actually is figuring out which 15 characters I leave in my Apex box at the end of the day. That's probably going to be the biggest challenge, more than anything else. Because as I get new heroes, I have to find someone to remove. And right now, I'm actually quite happy with all the heroes in my box. So I'm really not sure who I'm going to remove yet. It's a decision I'll have to make slowly, but we'll wait and see. And that will be it for this video for now. So tomorrow is actually going to be the new month. So I'm going to be doing my accessory purchases then. Like, for example, the new rare SSR accessories, stuff like that. So hopefully I'll get a swordsmith or something. Yeah, fingers crossed. Hoping for more swordsmith, hoping for more Apex boots, those kind of items that I'm kind of missing and could need. Oh, there is one last thing I should do. So because I did so many additional summons, the 90 extra summons, you can see that I now have a lot more extra hero shards once again. Now, the Freya ones clearly came from the events, so did the Liffany ones, but these other ones show that I did around 90 summons. So I'm going to just select them all, deselect Bozel shards, because I want to keep those, and get rid of the others to get 5,120 memory essence. So let's just extract that. And I can actually consider purchasing the runestone here, which I'm actually going to do, because I have enough to purchase 2 SSR accessories for next month, and I'm going to probably need runestones to upgrade up new heroes that I get. Or even if not upgrade up new heroes, there's various heroes I have who don't have their side branch class, so I could always learn those as well for a tiny bit more hit points. I mean, I've been getting some of the side classes unlocked. For example, I just very recently unlocked Elwin's side class just because, you know. So, you know, more runestones can always be used to unlock further classes of heroes at any given point, especially those who have the side class. Alright, so that will be it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. And on that note, Nitro out.